You know what I'm wearing too, actually, man? I got my shirt on that we got at the dollar store.
Wow.
Remember that nice dollar store with more
That
Instagram
shirt
followers?
it's hugging you a little tight though, huh?
Yeah.
I
You
can
know,
see
somebody's
I can see the way. Yeah. I mean, it's got some dimensions to it.
I mean, it fits though.
That shirt is 3 dimensions.
Well, I got 40 pounds to lose. Bro, if you look up my height.
40 pounds.
Yeah, if you look up my
That
height.
is so much weight.
You look up my height and body weight. That's what the BMI, that's what it says.
Wow.
And people say, I had a friend last night, muscle weighs more than fat. I'm like, yeah, I don't work out. I have no muscle.
Wow, yeah. Fat also weighs a lot though.
Yeah.
It's not nothing.
Yeah, dude, it's actually, believe it or not, and you're taller than me, but people that are 5'4", which I did hit after yoga, I did hit 5'5", but people that are 5'4", they're supposed to weigh between 122 and like 145.
Wow.
And you know, dude, I was 181 probably last night.
Yeah.
So I'm not that good at math, but definitely I'm never getting down to 122. We could forget about that.
Well, at this
And this
point,
is men's weight, not girls.
right? Yeah.
A man's supposed to weigh 122.
Losing all that weight at this point, it would be like you'd have to lose that over like 2 years, and then slowly work it around. Because like when you lose too much weight, they'll look weird.
Well, you know
Guys
what they
look sick.
say? They say you could safely lose a pound a week.
Yeah.
So I know I could do a pound a week. It's just a long term. Yeah, man, it's a lifetime change.
Yeah, a pound a week when you're on a cruise ship.
Dude, nothing in
you
life's
gotta,
easy.
You gotta adjust the math for that. Every time, it's so funny. Every time you're about to go on one of these cruises, you're like, "Nah, this is the one. This is the one. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna walk up and down those steps. Just I'm saying no to the. It's like, come on, bro.
One
You
cruise.
gotta go. You gotta go easier. Just set reasonable expectations for yourself.
I think a pound a week's reasonable. One cruise, I did it. One cruise, I came back the same weight that I was when I left.
Yeah.
I did it one time, and it was hard, dude. Eating apples.
Yeah.
You know, there is apples, there's fruit, but there's also pork that's great.
And there's just nowhere to go. You're just on
Right.
a boat.
Well, actually, you know what I started doing? This last one, I did this, and I'm going to do it every time. Another comic turned me on to it. They have a track. It's nice, dude. You could run. You're looking at the ocean. It's like 20 times as a mile, and it's on the top of the ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're running around that like a.
I just slowly jogged. I did like 7 or 8 laps. I was trying to do a quarter mile just to start off slow.
Wow. I mean, when I run like 4 miles. So you gotta run that cruise ship 80 times.
I don't know if I'd be running 4 miles, but try running. See how many miles you could run with 50 pounds strapped to you.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
how you would
That
compare
is-
to me.
Yeah, that must feel. I can't even imagine that.
Grab a 45-pound plate.
Wow. It's weird too because you think about when you watch like boxing. It's like Manny Pacquiao. How much do you weigh? It's like 130.
Yeah. Well, see, this is something too. I still got that boxing mentality in me. So, dude, a pound a week to me, even of pure fat, is nothing. Dude, we used to burn weight. Like, you know
Yeah.
what we used to do boxing? We'd run around, and our coach would follow us in a pickup truck, and we'd run in front of the truck
Wow, this is
holding
like-
tires
Yeah, this is like Punch Out
with
like
trash
Tyson.
bags on.
Wow.
99 degrees, and dude, we couldn't even get water. This is bad. I threw up, dude. You would have to throw up. That's
Wow.
how hard he ran you.
Yeah.
And dude, he would be driving right behind you. The truck would be right here, bro. You'd
well,
just
it's,
be
you either run or you die at that point. You're just
your team's pushing you.
wow.
You see your friend that you're like, oh, this kid's a sissy.
And they're doing this like right before the fight, right? Because you're supposed to
6
bulk.
weeks.
You bulk up and then you cut, like right.
It would be about 6 weeks of training. So yeah.
How much
Yeah.
would you lose leading up to the fight?
In those 6 weeks, I would lose 30 pounds. I've always been this guy to
Yeah.
where my weight, only once or twice in my life, I busted 180.
Yeah.
So, that's a once I'm sitting where I'm at now, that's like, oh man, I got to be careful.
Right.
But, yeah, man, I even when I worked out before, I didn't even really try to lose weight. This is just 2 years ago.
Right.
When I was living with another comic, we had a gym across the street, and he was all into working out and eating healthy.
Yeah.
And we did it every day for 3 months. And dude, within about 2 months, I was ripped again.
Right. Yeah.
Don't take too much. It's for me because I'm short. Like,
Yeah.
see, the thing is, if I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to look way different.
Yeah.
Even like you, I don't know, you got a few inches on me, but say you get somebody that's like 6'2", you're not going to know if they lose 10 pounds.
That's true. But even for you, it's like, it's funny because you're still wearing the kind of clothes that you would wear if you wore. It's like goal clothes.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, well, what else do I do? Wear a real long barbecue uncle t-shirt?
Yeah, right? Start wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
I'd have to be out
Have
here.
some stripes on it.
You know, it's funny. I got a guy telling me, fat guys love to say, oh, man, Dom's wearing a tight shirt. And it's like, bro, every shirt that you wear is tight also.
Yeah,
like,
by definition.
yeah, it's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to break out the 3Xs, the 2Xs,
Yeah.
them big barbecue shirts. You ever see them?
Yeah.
Down to the knees. Remember when the long white tee was cool?
Right, yeah.
Bro, them tees were the dresses guys would have. I remember t-shirts down to your knees.
Yeah. Double
And
X.
I remember people going, oh, it's not long enough. They'd be pulling it down, dude.
Wow. Guys would be playing basketball in those shirts.
Yeah.
Shorts down to their ankles.
Yeah, I'm glad the
Horrible
short
basketball
shorts.
clothes.
The shorts are coming back in basketball.
Yeah.
Remember boxing, how long the shorts got too? It's like, dude, everywhere is below the belt. Your shorts go from your chest to the ground.
Yeah. It looks silly.
Bro, you know who I watched and I forgot how good he was? Roy Jones Jr., bro. People, I think, sleep on this
showman.
guy. Bro,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right?
That like
Cocky.
I mean, like that thing where he's always saying if you learn from like chickens,
Yeah.
just sticking your head out and just fucking with guys. Yeah. Him and like remember Prince Nassim?
Oh, Prince Nassim had that freakish strength. He'd knock people out with one blow. Remember?
But it was like a
backflip?
movie where it's
Yeah.
like the punch is coming from like back here somewhere.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, yeah.
The entertainment that he brought to the game, Prince Nassim, doing the backflip over the rope, viral. He was one of the first boxers to go viral on social media like that.
Well, I remember I saw an interview. It was Floyd Mayweather. It was like, you got to give it up to Prince Nassim. He was
Yep.
like the originator
Yeah, he
of
was.
just being an asshole and making a spectacle.
Yep.
It was like taking the Muhammad Ali formula and just turning it up a few notches, and just like and delivering too.
It's always funny when I see these guys like Prince Nassim, and McGregor's a good one that act real tough, but it's like on camera we forget, dude, McGregor's the size of a junior high kid.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you see McGregor next to like Tyson Fury or something,
Right.
and it's like it looks like a little kid.
It's like, be as cocky as you want. I know 20 guys that could whip McGregor's ass that never fought a day in their life.
Right.
It's like, you're not going to beat some guy that's a grown man.
Yeah.
Like, it's always funny when you see somebody cocky like that. Then
Well,
you
I
see
think
him
he
next-
probably. I mean, that's what sucks is that you'll never be able to see that fight.
McGregor against a junior high kid?
No, I mean, well, just like like lightweight versus heavyweight.
I swear, dude.
There's no fights. They don't do that kind of like catch weight fight anymore.
I went to school with this kid, Bubba, in junior high. I think in 14 he could have beat McGregor's ass.
Oh yeah, just from like actual fighting, or just from like
he
being.
played football.
Yeah.
He wasn't that, just from being bigger. Like,
Yeah.
140 pounds, bro. It's not much.
But it's speed.
Yeah, but it's
And it's also just
if
like,
you're running away from the guy. Like,
no, but it's speed, and it's like, I mean, wrestling and being able to get in and out.
I don't know, dude. I remember there was this boxer. I don't want to say his name. Professional boxer. I don't even want to say what weight class he was, but a real alcoholic. I personally knew him. He was knocking everybody out in the ring.
Yeah.
And bouncers would just pick him up real gently. He'd crack the bouncer with everything he had. They'd be like, come on, relax. They'd
Right.
pick him up and carry him out. Like, he was nothing.
Yeah.
World champ. But this bouncer's like 50-year-old dude that's like 300 pounds.
Wow.
Been shot 5 times. He's like, bro, just here. Come here. It's okay. Come here.
Right.
And the dude's trying to throw.
Yeah.
Fast boxer. He just grabbed him one hand. I got him. I'm going to take him out.
Right.
Come back tomorrow. But when you see those guys getting cocky, it's like, bro, okay, we get it. You're going to beat this other guy that's massively undersized.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I sound cocky. I mean, honestly, McGregor would whip my ass, but
Yeah.
I'm not walking around. Like, you ever see him at Disney World? Like, it's like,
He's got his own walk.
yeah.
Yeah. No other fighter's got that walk. It's that like.
Yeah. Top of the day to a ladder.
Yeah.
I take him. They said, Dana White brags about him. He's like, yo, he doesn't care who it is. He'll fight him.
Yeah.
I think what messed McGregor up was when he snapped his leg.
Yeah, it was just a confidence thing for him, I think, at that point.
Once you snap your leg, the other fighter...
And just getting choked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been choked out once, dude. I don't like that stuff at all. I did MMA practice.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it was the prime of my boxing career. I beat the shit out of the trainer. He's like, all right. He's like, I get it. You could beat me on the ground, but let's grapple. And he choked me out, and I never went back because I'm like,
right.
I had to lay down. It's like that old karate move when people are like, hey, hit me right here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. He's like, okay, lay on the ground, put your one leg up. I'm like, dude, I just beat your ass bad in front of the whole class. First 10 minutes here.
Yeah, it's like the Steven Seagal. Anytime they show you how to do, Aikido or something.
I feel like Steven could probably whip somebody's ass, though.
They say, I mean, anytime you watch those videos, though, of him in Russia, where he's like beating up 10 guys at once.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the guy moves forward and then does a front roll.
Yeah.
And he's, Seagal just does this, but it's like,
yeah,
you set it up in a certain way, you're going to look good.
They say Seagal beats up on his stunt guys, and in movies, he really hits them as hard as he could. I think something's probably off with the guy.
Yeah. Well, he's like 7 years old now, living in like Russia somewhere.
Wow.
And he's just like he still does like direct to DVD movies.
Yeah,
but
dude.
he does movies where it's like he's in it for like 2 scenes, and he's like sitting down the whole time or something.
If you type in Steven Seagal, dude, he made 500 movies.
He's still working.
I can think of 3 of them that I've seen.
Yeah. Him and like Van Damme, those guys just work.
And bro, Van Damme, when he hit the scene, everybody was trying to do splits. You try to do a split? I used to try every day.
Yeah. Van Damme is such a distinctly like 1980s style of fighting, where it's like tight shorts, spandex style of fighting.
Bro, I used to be just like that. I'd be doing that. My dad would be like, quit spreading your damn legs. He'd be so mad. I'd be trying to do splits.
Dad, this is how they fight now.
Yeah. What are you doing? Watching these guys with no shirts on. That's old school.
Yeah,
man. Van Damme, dude, I love that blood. He really brought that double take. When I wonder if people really thought that worked.
Yeah.
Gracie was the real Van Damme in real life. That's the original UFC. Like, that's when you could have seen McGregor fighting my guy Bubba.
Right.
That would have been a good fight.
Van Damme, though, was the style of fighting where it's like, to me, when I think of Van Damme, it's all in the eyes.
Yeah.
It's in the eyes and it's like in the stance, but the actual fighting itself is sort of minimal.
And he was cut. If he wasn't cut like that.
Yeah. It's more of just like in the look and it looks cool.
I wonder how he got his start, man. Just kicking the shit out of people.
Well, it was in like the post Bruce Lee era where it's like, all right, that was cool, but we still need a little bit more style to it. We still need a little bit more spandex.
Yeah, we need him to be white.
Yeah, we need a white guy, and we need it to be, Well, it's like, remember Top Gun where they're doing volleyball?
Oh,
It's a bunch of shirtless dudes. We need that.
Yeah. With music.
Where it's like a martial arts movie, but let's throw something for the women in there, too.
Yeah, some music, a little love story.
Yeah.
A motorcycle.
The guy still can't act. But
that was every movie back then, dude.
Yeah.
Van Damme hit the scene hard. I'll tell you what, dude. I wish UFC never changed, and I wish it was the way it was back then. Just different size
Freak
people.
Show.
Yeah. Imagine, dude. Honestly, imagine if they did go take the toughest middle schoolers and have them fight lightweights. I think there'd be a couple of middle schoolers that would win, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, and even if you lose, it's like, all right, well, you were in middle school.
Those middle school wrestlers with the cauliflower ear, they're tough, bro.
Yeah. When you just have like dumb confidence strength at that point,
right?
Too, where it's like they're fighting and they're like horny and stuff too.
Yeah. They got the ring card girls. When I used to box, dude, half the reason I did it was for the ring card girls.
Wow.
I'd always want to talk to them. Some
ever work out for
busted. No, but I'll tell you what, dude. I remember I had this ring card girl. For the whole fight she was doing it, they check, like, for some reason, when you're boxing, they're always checking everything, checking your cup. They're pulling your shorts open in the corner. And she would walk by. I remember they were pulling mine open. She tried to catch a little glance.
Wow.
And then...
Wait, why are they pulling your shirt?
I think because you got that cup underneath there.
Okay, yeah.
And they try to get all your stuff right.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, I've had trainers straight in the corner, just adjusting it. You're like, whoa, dude. Like,
I'm trying to fight.
Yeah, the cup's fine.
Yeah, let's work on my bleeding nose.
Yeah.
The guy just keeps poking at you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I broke my nose, dude, and you can still see it's crooked. I thought I lost my front teeth. You couldn't. I was like, just tell me the truth. I was in the corner. He's like, shut up.
Will I ever be pretty again?
Yeah.
Tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, dude. I caught some shots fighting, dude. You know, I hated it. I'd have diarrhea and be peeing 900 times. People say, aren't you nervous to go on stage? I'd be like, very rarely is somebody going to get up and try to beat the hell out of me.
Right.
And that does still happen in comedy. Though.
But, I mean, you don't still get that. There's the possibility of, like, going out and kicking ass, though, right?
Yeah, maybe I didn't have that killer instinct, dude. Before the fight, I'd have to pee 900 times the whole day. I hated it.
Yeah.
Cutting weight was always my big thing too, so I'd always be so much
shaky.
stress, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I got the fights in 2 weeks. One day you wake up, you're like, oh, I gained 10 pounds of water weight somehow.
I'm
training my ass
kind of
off.
surprised that more fights don't get called off at the last second. You
Yeah.
ever think about that? Like a UFC fight where it's like, all right, I signed a contract to fight this guy, and I'm getting paid all this money, and everybody's here to see it, but you can't force me to do this.
I mean, they could if you sign the contract.
No, but it's like, no, they can't physically force you into the ring. They'll sue you later
Right.
on, but it's like, no, I don't want to do it. I changed my mind. I'm surprised it doesn't just happen like that, where it's like, I don't, nerves get to you.
Right, but that's why they got them contracts. Otherwise, people would be like, screw this. I ain't doing this.
This is crazy.
Then when you see how much money you're making, because you got to keep in mind, bro, you got your manager. Most of the time, they're taking way more than a comedy manager.
Yeah.
They might take damn near 50%, 40%. You got your trainer, you're paying 20%. If you get stitches, there's $1,700,
Yeah.
you know. And
no health insurance.
You're only making what? If you're lucky, $2,500 on the fight. There's been a fight, I think I was supposed to make $2,500. After everything was said and done, I got $300.
Wow.
And then, dude, I think I had to get an Uber home for some reason. It costed me a whole extra, like $100
Wow.
to get home.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I can't believe I made $200. I ate good, walked away with $150 for 6 weeks worth of work.
Wow.
And that's the game.
But just like that feeling of being in the locker room and knowing that, like, it's got to be, I'd want to go, I want to be one of the first fights. You know what I mean? Let's just get this shit over with. But just knowing that it's like, you got to be there waiting, knowing that, like, just think about those guys who were fighting Mike Tyson back in the day, where it's like, how long is a boxing card? It's like 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
And that guy got there at like 6.
Right.
He's
Probably
just
even
sitting
before that.
sitting in a back room, just knowing that he's gonna get fucking destroyed in like 20 seconds.
Probably.
And you gotta wait the entire night.
Yeah, dude, probably got there at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're waiting. With him, at least with those Tyson fights, you're like, hey, no matter what, I don't care. If he lands good, I'm going down. I'm getting my little $1 million.
I don't know. Those guys were trying, I think.
My fights, when you're early on, you're in the locker room with the guy you're going to fight.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be telling you, yo, man, I'm going to beat your ass. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
And then, most of the guys that talk shit like that end up losing.
Right.
They don't got no heart. You really find a lot about a man when you punch him dead smack in the nose, like,
right, yeah.
or in the jaw. You see, is this a fight or flight guy?
Yeah. Did you ever come out to, like, was there music playing? Did you get to pick a song?
Yeah, I came out to like Thunder. Like, we had CDs back then. It wasn't as digital as it was.
Yeah.
A lot of times you just had what they had. Like, I wasn't bringing a CD. Some comics would. They'd bring like some rapper.
Yeah.
I remember guys, man, would be all about the show, and it was probably a good thing. Like, they'd bring some local rapper, the Jewish Messiah. There was this one guy, I remember. He's just some Jewish guy rapping. It was so ridiculous.
he like walked the guy to the ring?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's all like acting like Eminem. Life a struggle up in the mosque or whatever. Like, it just had all these other Jewish people do that. These fucking
the yarmulkes,
little yarmulkes on.
Well, at least he's putting on a show.
Yeah.
It's like Prince Nassim, like I said. It's like, let's give these guys a little something to talk about.
Yeah, it was about the show. One time I intimidated a guy so bad. He actually quit, but there was no contracts. It was this was an amateur fight, I'm pretty sure. Dude, I had the Mike Tyson. You know when Tyson wins before the fight?
Oh, that's the eyes?
I just came off of a fight where the guy wasn't qualified to fight. My fighter didn't show up, so I had to fight somebody. I sold a bunch of tickets. And that's really what boxing is. How many tickets could you sell? That's how you move up.
Yeah, of course.
My uncles cut hair, dude. They sold a ton of tickets. They'd be like, yo, go see my nephew. He's fighting.
Right.
They'd be like, yo, you sold $500 worth of tickets? So they were like, yeah, we're putting you on. You're definitely fighting. So boom. I knocked this guy out bad. And then the next fight was like 3 weeks later. People were still talking about it. And dude, it was like I was set up to win the fight. And anyways, he canceled. He didn't and he showed up too. We were in the locker room. He didn't talk any shit. I knew I had him beat.
Wow.
And they were just like, yeah, his stomach hurts. And the amateurs, I guess you can get away with it.
Yeah.
And then that was it, dude. I was so excited to beat this dude's ass.
Just imagine now, though, because that was sort of like pre-YouTube days.
Yeah.
Just imagine now that guy would be like on YouTube watching like Eric Thomas videos on his phone.
The hip-hop team. Preacher, shout out.
Getting just like pumped up. Just watching like Steve Jobs videos. Just like, ooh, I'm going to do it.
Woo!
Yeah.
That E.T., the hip-hop, yeah. You wake up at Monday, it's Monday morning. Woo!
If that was me, that's how I would do it.
Yeah, my brother will call me.
My thing is though, like you gotta like.
Thompson.
My problem for like, I always think about this when I'm watching the UFC because the cards go so long, and they show the guy early in the night. He's like, they show them arriving to the arena.
Yeah,
and then they keep cutting back. He's the headliner. They keep cutting back to him, and he's getting taped up. Now he's doing little jumping jacks, and it's like. There's a science to it, right? Where you're supposed to like kind of break a sweat in the locker room.
Yeah.
And you got to you got to nail that because if you hit that peak too early, then you go to the ring and you're a little bit tired. And if you hit it too late, then it's like, you come to the ring and you're not warmed up. But just knowing psychologically, it's like, oh, this guy has to shit at a certain time. He has to eat a protein bar at a certain time, and he has to be peak physical,
Rocky Marciano used to sleep before his fights.
Yeah. Well, back then they would like smoke cigarettes and like
yeah,
it's like drinking beer and backstage and stuff.
Yeah,
but just knowing that like psychologically you gotta perform at this. Even doing comedy is hard enough. When it's like you ever do a show, you just drove for 8 hours, and it's like we gotta get out of the car right now and go on stage
all the time.
And just psychologically, that is so hard to adjust your mentality to that.
Yeah.
Think about that times fighting in front of 20,000 people.
Can you imagine if you fought as much as you did stand up? Like, dude, I think about how many times I did stand up. You're talking 5, 7, sometimes 10 times a night.
Yeah.
Nobody's fighting that much.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of a different,
Yeah,
there's different constraints there.
I mean, nowadays, bro, you put me in any situation. Honestly, even a TV taping, I really don't give a fuck. I know people say this and they're like, oh, this is crazy. Dude, I'm like,
Well, there's just nothing. It's not like fighting where you're going to get killed or something.
And
at
also,
this point, we both know that it's like, this is going to go good or it's going to go bad.
And we've done it all. Like, dude, I did a TV taping that was terrible. Now I'm like, all right, got that out the way. It's impossible for anything to be worse than this because I want to do it. I just did it. They literally came to the club. And it's like, yo, any other white comics? Like, that's the first off, anybody that's saying that. You're like, I don't know how good of a TV taping this is going to be. So it was like me. Keith Chase recommended me, actually. And and then they didn't realize you're still messing with New York comics. So the idea of the thing was, it was this show. It didn't get picked up. A terrible laugh track, too. But the idea was they were going to get, like, it was hosted by a black guy. Like, it was like a cross between Wildin' Out and roasting people.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just basically, we're going to shit on all these white dudes.
Wow.
But so...
I like this idea already.
Yeah. So they didn't realize, bro, if you wanted bad white comics, you shouldn't be in New York. You got to go get them from somewhere else.
Well, no, you can get a few. But you got to vet these guys first.
Yeah, you got to make sure they're bad.
Yeah.
Every comic killed.
Wow.
Threw the host off. He was still trying to talk shit.
Well, you go up and you do a set?
Yeah.
And they judge you?
And they're doing charades behind the camera, trying to mess us up, throwing paper.
Wow.
It was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
How much time did you do?
Bringing people out to fake names. I think I was supposed to do 10. I think I did like 3 or 4 because the charades behind the camera. I was like, there's somebody doing charades behind the camra. I just called it out.
What were you? What was the? Do you remember what bit you were doing?
I did, yeah, and killed the room immediately. My first bit. They brought me out. The dude that brought me out, shitting on me for 45 minutes. About
you did the condom joke, or you did?
No, I did the one about a lot of white guys want to. It was very hood room.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, a lot of white guys want to say the N word.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And I did that joke, leveled the room, first joke out.
Wow.
And I don't think people expected. I know how to do a hood room.
Right. Yeah.
And either way, what do you call? Yeah, the dude 45 minutes tells the audience how bad I am before he brings me out.
Wow.
He's like, if you guys want to get up and leave, now would be your time.
Well, he almost set you up to do good then. Cause
Yeah.
it's like you lowered the bar at that point, and it's like you just got to be all right. And it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier when I did that Kill Tony podcast. This was like 6 years ago now, 7 years ago. So it wasn't like the big thing it is now.
Oh, it was kind of just starting out.
Well, it was like they were like a couple of years in, so people were there for it, but it was at like a comedy club. Now they do like big rooms. But yeah, I mean, since it's like that show is basically like an open mic, and we do open mics every day back in those days. And so every other comic that went up, it was like their first time doing comedy.
Wow.
And they were just excited to be there because it was Kill Tony and, Tony Hinchcliffe. So they were all going up and bombing because those guys don't know how to do comedy.
Right.
So I was the only one that did it who was like, I'd been doing comedy for like 2 years. So I just did my best 1 minute joke or whatever. And it crushed just because all you had to do was be a little bit, you have to know what you're doing just a little bit. And all of a sudden that separates you from everybody else.
See, when I watched the show, and I'd love to do it, the one thing is I did a show at the Stand. I think they tried doing something like that 3 years ago, the Ron Bennington show.
Yeah.
Remember where they heckle you?
Brian was on that, right?
Bro, I couldn't get, I'm like, this heckle. It's like, yo.
Well, it's like they're trying to make a moment.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Kill Tony would, if it's like that or not. If they just let you do 1 minute.
No, they let you do a minute, and then you stand up there and they talk about you for like 10 minutes.
Oh,
yeah. And then it's a lot of that. Yeah.
I was happy when I seen Tim Warner coming out of his shell, which I mean, this guy, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even like me as a friend, which I don't know why. I love you, Tim. But it was cool when I always thought when Tim would talk about his struggles in life, remember he'd do the creek and he would like do his jokes and then crazy act out about a bug and all this stuff about science, but then it wouldn't work, and then he'd be like, you know what, fuck you guys, I didn't sleep in 3 days. He would be dying.
Yeah.
I think that's how Conrad came out. A lot of people came out of their shell after the set when you're like, this is over, I did terrible.
Well, it's just like, it's kind of a freak show aspect at that point. It's like, this is just a guy who's just like melting down, and it's fun to watch for a little bit, but it's like, I remember there was a guy when I started doing comedy in San Diego where his whole thing was like, he would get like halfway into his set, and then same thing like you were saying, he'd start just arguing with the audience and getting mad, just like flipping out and just like marching around the stage. But what's so funny is that like at a certain point people know you for that, or you just know that works, so that no matter what length of a set he's doing, he always halfway through he just has to flip that switch. So which makes sense if you're doing an hour. But it's like this dude would be doing like a 3-minute open mic, and so it's like you got to do your joke, and then you got to just all of a sudden freak out, and then that's the second half of your set, and it's like you can't keep that up at a certain point.
There's a guy here in New York, an older guy. You probably remember him, dude. That's his whole. He does the same thing, dude. He screams, going off. The thing is, it's not even that funny, but somebody's gonna book him. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we need this guy for this show." It's such a distinctive thing.
Yeah. It's another aspect.
There's sometimes when I see some comedians, there's some comedians that just rant, and they're like, "Look, I don't care what happens. I'm not here to make the people laugh. I'm here to get this rant out." And I'm gonna
they say that, but it's like then you watch them the next day and it's the same rant.
Right.
It's all it's like we were saying about TikTok, where it's like you just throw enough shit out there until you figure out one thing that works, and it's like, oh, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the guy that does this.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that goes up to cops and fucks with them for some reason.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what the world just tells you, kind of like, all right, we'll accept you if you do this. So it's like, all you got to do is keep pressing that button again.
And then, see, that's one thing I'm always on the fence with. My best TikTok career was when I was doing the subway stuff every day, joking the subway. I think people got comfortable. They seen that. And now it's like, you ever see, like, there used to be a guy I used to love, spoiled, like, Eric Cartman kid that would have fake jewelry on, and he'd try to convince people it's real. Okay. And I was such a fan of this guy. Yeah. And then one day he posted a video of playing golf. I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
Hey, he's expressing who he really is. He's trying to grow.
Yeah.
It's like, no, people want to keep you in a box.
Go get the shark teeth, put the diamond thing on it, talk ghetto, come on. Yeah. And bro, I feel like when I put out a clip, are people looking at me like, "What are you doing a podcast for?"
Yeah, right.
Although I don't know, I went viral on podcasts more than anything. Honestly, out of everything, the podcast went the most viral, then the comedy sketch, then the joke in the subway.
Right. But just imagine, though, if you try to cut your hair someday, everybody in the comments is going to be like, man, what the hell?
I've been through that, dude. I'm not as funny. I cut my hair short. Remember me with short hair? Like if I had that hairstyle you used to rock when you buzzed it back, no laughs.
Wow.
Bro, even now, the laughs hurt a little. It's got to get a half inch longer.
You don't think it's like maybe just psychologically?
No way. It's like Eddie Murphy in the suit.
You
ever read those stories? Eddie Murphy used to always, I actually heard the stories because Comic Strip, Richie was Eddie Murphy's first manager.
Yeah.
So I got to hear all the inside Eddie Murphy stories that nobody heard, man. He would tell these crazy cool stories of Eddie. And so the idea with the suit was Eddie looked up to Elvis right before the show on Eddie Murphy, the red suit. That was the first one.
Raw.
Yeah. He was like, yo, I want to get a suit like Elvis, a white suit, but I can't do it because Elvis did the white suit.
Right.
And so Richie told him, well, get a red one. He gives a fuck. Richie, old guy from Boston, ran away from home, man. Cool dude. But anyways, so Eddie grabbed the red suit and he got the pants didn't match. They color corrected it. But then it brought this spectacle of Eddie Murphy in the suit.
Oh, yeah.
And then it bothered him because he thought that they just loved the suit, and he would try to just wear like a collared shirt. He'd try to not wear the crazy suit. He's like, hey, they still laughed, but it just wasn't the same. It always kind of bothered him. So one night, Eddie had 2 shows, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to wear the suit. And it was out of town, and Richie flew there. And he's like, yo, what are you doing here? And he just put the suit on. He's like, I'm making sure you wear that damn suit.
Wow.
It was like a spectacle. Richie told me, Eddie was still funny no matter what. He's like, Eddie would go.
Hey, I mean, he was in movies and stuff. So.
Oh, even way before when he was 19, he said he'd go up at the strip at like 4 a.m. He'd go last when he just got SNL.
Right.
And he would kill for 1 hour crazy.
Yeah.
But when you talk the big theater, people were let down when they didn't see the suit. It was a spectacle. Like,
wow.
After that, what was the first one? Delirious?
Yeah.
After Delirious came out, man, it was like, you had to wear the suit. I think I'm like that with the hair.
Well, just think now, too. Eddie Murphy's like in his 60s, and he's always kind of been coming back to doing stand-up. It's like, you can't put that suit back on.
He's going to have to come up with a similar suit, bro. That's the Eddie trademark.
I don't know.
Nah, he could upclass the suit.
Yeah.
Bro, it's 2020. If anything, that suit would be more accepted now, probably.
I guess, but it's just like, just seeing a guy, I could see why he would resist wearing a suit.
But if he put that shit on, the crowd's going nuts immediately, bro.
Yeah.
If he's got the suit on, anything he says, level in the room.
Right. Can you imagine if you had to pick a look like that, though?
I think we all do.
But it's like, if you really had to, well, I mean, like these days, comedy is a little bit more sophisticated in the sense that you can kind of like, people aren't going to see like character comedy the way they were back in the day. But it's like, what if you had to wear like your car wash uniform?
I did that once on stage after work. I bombed terribly.
Yeah.
Dude,
we all wearing a UPS uniform.
Truthfully, we all are doing character comedy still because, like, all right, let's say you put Mark Norman in a suit and tie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's not like the 80s, though, where it's like, no, you're that guy. You're the shoulders guy, or you're Dice or something.
I mean, it's not all the way like that, but in a way, bro, like when you see certain people, you just see them as what they are. Same thing as TikTok. The world accepts you as that. Like, whatever you go viral in, I need to get a Fame and Money shirt. Maybe that's why
it's just like, what if you just one day you just start wearing purple? You just happen to be wearing like a bright purple shirt, and it's like, all of a sudden, 20 years into comedy, it clicks like that.
It could happen.
This is what you should have been doing the whole time.
Maybe I should always wear a leather vest. I used to always wear this leather vest. It's actually a crazy story. The hand-me-down of the vest is the guy that got me into comedy used to open up for this comic, Jim Wiggins, who like everybody kind of knew, like comedians all know him, but he never made it mainstream.
Right.
But I think he did. He did like Last Comic Standing once, but he was like, like 60, 70 years doing comedy, like all over the everywhere. Jim Wiggins. And anyways, the guy that got me into comedy used to open for Jim Wiggins, and he would let Jim stay at his house. They were real good friends. And check this out. I got the leather vest through Jim Wiggins, and Jim Wiggins used to open for Carlin.
Wow.
And there's, I don't know the whole story about the vest. I have this vest. It's old as hell. And the guy that got me into comedy, he gave it to me. He's like, yeah, Jim Wiggins gave me this. I might have a vest.
It's like a black belt.
I might have a vest that Carlin wore at one point. You never know. I don't know for sure or not all the details, but there was a 50-cent piece in it too. And the guy, he called me a few times like, hey, you got that 50? It was never in the vest though.
Wow.
I never remember seeing it. But so I used to wear that vest when I first started comedy and a fedora. And every show I had the vest and fedora on.
Wow.
You can see pictures of it on Facebook.
I'm so disappointed you gave up this look.
Well, I was driving to a gig and it was about 2 years in. That's how long I rocked the fedora and vest. Every show.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm driving to the gig with my brother. We're going to Akron, Funny Stop Comedy Club. And it's like some contest. And it's like my third time in it, I think. Anyway, so I got all my fedora jokes ready. The one guy, the host, said, yo, you write polished jokes. They're just not funny. He told me that. He's like, there's no fat on none of those jokes, but none of them work. Right. I remember him telling me that. But anyway, so it was all about the fedora. And I go up there, and dude, I'm driving there, running late. The hat blows out the window on the freeway.
Wow.
I had no time to turn around.
Wow.
Had to keep going. No act. Everything was about the fedora.
This is like a movie.
Dude, I go on stage, crowd work, destroyed it.
Wow.
That's when I knew I was moving to New York eventually.
Wow.
Dude, I was killing harder than... Dude, it was the hardest body I seen at that. Like, it was like the headliner shit. Like, you remember when you first started and you see the headliner go up, you're like, damn, how are they getting this loud of a laugh, everybody?
Right.
It was that type of thing. All crowd work. Boom, boom, boom. Just everything crowd work.
Wow.
And then I was like, that's it. I'm moving to New York. I was like, my jokes are fun. I don't need to write about this damn fedora.
Just think, man, it was the ghost of George Carlin just reached out and grabbed that fedora.
Yeah.
So you've gone far enough with this. It's time for you to grow your wings.
This ain't working. That's the opposite of the Eddie Murphy thing. See, me, I didn't do good in the character.
Wow.
I tried, before I even knew the story of Eddie, I tried to be the fedora guy. I'd come out, I'd be, you know that, bro. I tried everything but being myself.
Wow.
That's what I
imagine. Maybe the fedora fell off your head and it landed on some kid though.
Yeah.
Or he's like, no, this is my move now.
Yeah.
He just like starts doing the Michael Jackson dance.
He wasted 2 years of his life with it.
Yeah.
Do
you still got that vest?
Yeah. It's in I keep it everywhere. It's in my room. Yeah.
Do you ever are you gonna bring it back out at some point?
Maybe. I was always contemplating doing my first special in it and telling the story.
Wow.
The guy that got me into
what do you even wear with the vest, though? It's just like a shirt?
I guess it's a black vest. I would wear something black underneath.
But it's like a long sleeve black shirt?
Really, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It just seems in my head it's like a stripper uniform.
It's a really cool old vest. Hey, maybe I'll just wear the vest.